This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised.
Too much empty space for these thoughts, and it's a long way down.
Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Mothership role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. Our scenario is Genesis Chapter 1, verse 26 to 27. It was written by Morgan Llewellyn, and we are eager to dive in once again. Morgan is our game warden, and this is episode 2. Our recap will be given by my character, Dr. Richard Strauss. But before we begin, we have a new patron. Josh Mandernash has pledged $5 a month to our club. Thank you so much, Josh. Just so that you know, your contributions do help pay for everything that we do, from the website to the database to our Zoom and Adobe accounts and everything in between. So once again, thank you for all your generous contributions. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. For so many years, I have labored to achieve my dream of creating a perfect humaniform android. The Gemini have surpassed all our expectations. Dr. Joseph Heinrich has been perfecting their minds, as I have perfected their physical form. I have been hoping that the two of us can move on together after this project to achieve even higher goals, though, to be honest, I'm not sure where to go from here. God created man in his own image. To me, this means that we, like him, are creative. When someone tells us we cannot achieve a thing, we manage it anyway. This is the force of creation itself, the fiery crucible in which we refine the glistering gold. We must bear in mind that these children of ours are impressionable. I have seen them imitate my actions when I am happy or sad. They are looking to express some new emotions of which they have no pre-designed experience. Is this not the same thing that we do? They are always asking questions, and it is how we answer them that forms their existence. If children are shown love and compassion for those less fortunate, then there's a good chance that they will do the same. And though the Gemini appear as fully formed adults in every way, they are in fact newborns. But something has gone amiss. Mulrasa and Fletcher were almost killed when a mining charge was detonated, a sabotage of the assembly line. 87 Gemini were destroyed and 133 were damaged, when the line itself may take days or weeks to repair. Who would have done such a thing? I rushed down to the manufacturing floor to survey the damage. It was like seeing my own children cut down like sheaves of wheat. Their damaged bodies, works of exquisite art, defiled by some mindless enemy. For a few moments at least I was inconsolable. I admit I wept. This is the first time in decades I have felt such despair. None of us can fathom who would place such a charge when we are so close to the end of our stay on this sulfurous rock. I have asked Dr. Heinrich to utilize the 133 semi-damaged androids to help repair the line. Oddly, when I returned to his location, he was interviewing the random 10 androids that Elwood had sent us. Perhaps I was affected by the scene I had just come from, but these androids looked depressed. I don't know what Dr. Heinrich had said to them, but they all seemed prematurely concerned with their own mortality. Joseph himself looked a little frightened. There is an ancient book that I read as a child, and it made me consider my own responsibility in the things that I create. It is titled Frankenstein, or the Modern Prometheus. The true horror of the story was that Victor Frankenstein refused to take responsibility for his creation. I feel, though this is a fiction, that had the character shown love or compassion, the monster would have turned out much better. Dr. Heinrich and I have created something beautiful, and we are responsible for its welfare. Whoever causes damage to our creation needs to pay for their crime, the wholesale murder of 87 of our children.
Thank you, Thom. Then Gaia said, "Let us make android kind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So Gaia created android kind in its own image. In the image of Gaia, it created them, male and female. It created them. Let's check in with everybody. The station has once again been rattled by a distant explosion. Let's check in. Dr. Heinrich, you are still in the testing room, are you not?
Yeah, yes, I am.
Okay, and you are with androids 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Yes, my friends number 1 through 10. Dr. Strauss has just entered, I believe.
Yeah.
Sure.
We've had a bit of a conversation with the androids.
I have. They're very curious, these androids. They have become very concerned with something I could describe as ennui or malaise, or some form of sorrow haunts them. They've been dreaming, you know.
Yeah, it's very interesting. You would know more than I because you are the designer of the AI. But I would hope that if we treat them with respect and as the adults they are, then answer their questions. I don't see any harm. But what was that explosion we just heard?
Very strange, is it not?
More damage.
Numbers 1 through 10, are you concerned about this new explosion? Do you seem surprised in any way?
Number 4 says to you, "I'm concerned about my necks."
Yes,
Yeah.
we are concerned about them as well. It's very
Do
frightening.
you know why these keep happening?
We are going to find out. Somebody is doing something wrong.
Someone's doing a not very nice thing here. They're destroying things that have been a long time in the making.
9 chimes in. "If they continue, is it true that we will never have to leave this place?"
Who told you that? Who said that?
No one.
No, it is not true. Everything on this planet belongs to the Gaia organization. They will eventually come here and collect all of you that are left, and they will penalize us for not producing the full amount that they require.
This Gaia of which you speak, this is number 5.
Mhm.
Are they not here?
In certain manner, we act as their representatives, but
Yeah,
the authority.
They're not a single person. They are an organization of like-minded businessmen. We should feed them some files on the economic uh, breakdown of how the empire currently works.
It might assist them in coming to terms with the world they will find themselves inhabiting.
So
Yes,
we're gonna cut from there. Mulrasa and Fletcher, the two of you in your with your little tracker program saw that Dr. Strauss's credentials were used to access one of the air filtration centers just before
Yeah,
the second explosion.
let's find out who did this. I'm going to get on that terminal and start tracing.
Yeah. I think I'm going to start gathering, making sure that we have equipment that should oxygen source be threatened, then we're going to be prepared. It
Yeah, at
might
this
not be.
point, there are multiple klaxons sounding off. There are emergency warning lights. Um, there's definitely the integrity of the air on the station is being compromised.
Can we run a scan and get specific data as to what degree of oxygen remains?
I think we have to prioritize here. Shit, the station is more important, isn't it?
Not than our lives. This is a job, man. We're not.
That's what I mean. We need to
Yeah.
we need to deal with the life support. Okay.
Yeah, that's got to be first priority. But I mean, let me get started on that. You keep working on tracking down who's behind this, because if we might just get this fixed in time for a third explosion to happen.
Oh Christ. Okay. Okay.
They're ahead of us. Whatever's happening here, this had to be planned, and I don't know. It's
Hey, I don't want to be the first to suggest this, but I think I have to. If there's a problem with the product and some of these things are acting out in some way that is aberrant, then we need to know that. But anyway, let's do this now.
yeah,
We'll have that discussion
do,
later.
do they have enough to inside to contemplate that kind of act? I
I
don't
don't
even know.
know.
But
I don't
yeah,
know. That's
first we fix the problem. But I mean, I will keep talking as we're typing and trying to clear issues. But I mean, we've talked before. We're fairly sure I mean, it's not Dr. Strauss. We know that, right? And I don't think
we
we
don't
see Dr.
we don't
Heinrich
know
enough.
anything. We don't know anything.
Whoever
We've
it
ruled
is someone who's moving around the station, getting into these areas. I never see Dr. Heinrich leave the labs where he's working in. I don't see how he could have set these charges.
Well, we've ruled out all of us at some point, and so that leaves only the artificial units. Or we missed something. So maybe we just got to go back and comb through it all again.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, okay, oxygen is not looking good, but what I can see here is that we're not screwed just yet. Um, I'm going to have to run down to our main systems in order to have a closer look at things.
Okay, so Mulrasa, it sounds like that you are working on fixing the air filtration
Yeah.
problem. And Fletcher, you are staying behind to continue
Yeah.
monitoring where this access badge goes.
Yeah, I'm going to try to pinpoint the terminal or the access point. I'm a little unclear. Is it actually a physical access or is it a electronic access?
Somebody's using Strauss's credentials, so they're either they
Okay.
have this card or they're mimicking his card
Okay.
to move
I'm going to try to
around.
find out where in the station they are. And if I can pinpoint that, I'm going to go there. And I'm going to try to get a look at who it is.
So currently you've seen two accesses. There was one into the air filtration unit, and there was one into the quality assurance lab.
Right. Okay. The quality assurance lab was where the mining blast went off.
Yeah, that's kind of
Well,
end
so
of
so
the
the one mining blast went on the production facility.
production line.
One's gone off in air filtration. The Q&A lab is usually where Dr. Strauss and Dr. Heinrich do their work.
Hmm. It's looking fishier and fishier for Dr. Strauss right now.
I don't know. It's just after that conversation, man, I don't know if I agree with his viewpoint of these. They still creep me out, but I don't think it's him. Why would he destroy his own children? You saw him. His emotion was real. Whether I can understand it or not, I believe his grief was valid.
Maybe it was, but all the same, enough money, people will do things even against their own interests. So who
There,
knows? Who knows?
could I, while I'm away, I might have you look into one other thing. What we got. I mean, this is the last 100 models coming off that we're having these issues with right now, but we have another 9 billion in stasis. Right now, those units are on, just kind of in sleep mode. If we need to, is there a way that we can essentially power them off?
That is possible. That
Then
runs a
yes.
risk of damage to the system.
We'd probably both know that then.
Yeah, that could be a contingency, but
I
I
don't
don't
want
know.
to have to do that.
If can
If
you
we,
just get the suit collar up over my arm here? Sorry, it's that's stupid
yeah,
broken arm is
yeah,
not
yeah.
doing
Let
me
me
any
help you.
favors.
Let me help you with that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So you get Lannick all suited up. Move from there to Elwood. Elwood, whereabouts are you when the second explosion goes off?
I have been attempting to repair some of the uh, intra um, the main junctions of the cameras and sensor arrays so as to be able to more effectively monitor movement in the facility. Um, so I was probably in a corridor or a hub that connects major subsections of the base. And I'll probably immediately radio Dr. Haraway when I feel the second blast um, to make sure that she's not injured and that she's aware of the situation. How easy is it to tell where the second explosion is located?
The second explosion from you was like up and like to your left.
Right, so closer to the surface, so more of the uh, maintenance machinery that keeps the facility itself operable.
Yes.
Right. That's bad news. Um, yeah, there are no humans unaccounted for at the moment, to my knowledge. I believe I know the location of all the humans. So either the
Yes.
device is timed and was placed earlier, or there is an unknown actor moving about the base, which is alarming. It strikes me, however, that, well, no, I don't think it's possible for a synthetic person to behave like this. After all, we are all cells in the organization that is Gaia. One does not hack away at one's own arm. Of course, aberrations do occur. I believe there are some human neurological disorders that cause people to physically attack themselves. Um, so I check in with Haraway, and then I'm going to uh, making sure that my stun baton is fully operable, head in the direction of the second blast in hopes I can apprehend whoever's responsible before more damage is done.
Dr. Haraway gets back to you on the radio and says, "No, I am not injured. I appreciate your concern, but we need to figure this shit out. This keeps getting worse."
Well, I assess myself to be closer to the source of the second blast, so perhaps I can arrive there in time to determine who is responsible, Who or what? When was the last transport ship here, Keeper? How long is it? How long have we been alone?
You have been alone here for the last 2 years. There was a ship that came in for resupply and then left.
So there is not the remotest possibility that there are any active agents,
Stowaway, yeah.
right?
They have to be hiding for an awfully long time.
Yeah, effectively impossible. So yeah, I'm hustling off toward, and presumably there are screens between here and there that I can look at to determine what's functioning and what's not. I probably have an ability to uh, independently verify the air quality.
Yeah, I mean the closer you get to the new breach, the worse the air gets. Um, and the closer you get to the breach, the more and more surveillance equipment has been sabotaged. So you are pretty much going in the dark. And
So this
on your
conspiracy has been going on for some time.
Yes, this seems to have been in the works for quite a while now. And while you're on your way to the breach, you bump into Morasa.
Elwood.
You were injured.
Yeah, in the first blast, I didn't expect you're coming to check out the air filtrations too.
That's where the second explosion was located?
Yeah, it's what I've surveyed so far looks pretty bad. I think we have enough to fix it, but we're not going to be able to take much more of this.
Indeed not. I'm glad you were suited up. We'll attend to your injury as soon as we have the situation stabilized. You didn't see anyone coming or going.
Not on my path here so far. Yourself?
No, no one.
This is damn mysterious. Like this air long term, it's not good for you either, right? Like it'll wear down.
No, it is significantly corrosive and bad for synthetic tissues as well as uh, organic-based life.
We're having trouble. Okay, so what we got so far is, I mean, we're trying to figure out who's doing this, but everyone's kind of accounted for. It's you're probably not going to like hearing this, but I could it be the product? I mean, sorry, could it be the androids?
There are only two possibilities, I believe, at this point, given that the second explosion happened when all of the human occupants were accounted for. Either a human set the charge and it was timed to occur when it did, or there is a synthetic that is behaving aberrantly.
Oh my God, I
Are you armed in any fashion?
I got a wrench.
If it is one of the Geminis that is responsible for this, a wrench will not avail you a great deal, as we are physically rather more robust than you are progenitors.
I guess somewhere back in the supplies, I think there's a combat shotgun somewhere, but I didn't bring it with me.
Well, let's address the breach first, and then
Okay, yeah.
if we are together, we are presumably safer. Although I begin to fear a conspiracy. Our surveillance systems have been significantly undermined over a period of some time. There's clear intent.
Oh my
What?
God. If we got to fix this, but I'm telling you, the second one came so soon after the first one. We could be hit again before we know it. Is there anything you can guess? You look at things in a different way than we do, maybe. What motive? Why we're so close to getting out of here? Why would anyone jeopardize that?
Well, perhaps not everyone is as eager to leave as you are.
Hmm.
However, if it is a synthetic that is responsible for this, it is a very significant deviation from fairly deeply encoded neurolinguistics and fundamental drives. So I could only assess that the disorder was perhaps the result of a significant injury. And I don't know how a synthetic, I mean, most of them are powered down for the time being until shipment. So
if everything were to go to crap and this station, like this whole facility were to be compromised, would the place where we have all these models in stasis, would it be tenable to them?
I think we could, depending on the number, frequency, nature of the explosions or other difficulties, as long as we maintain power, they're already sort of packaged for the impending shipment. And so we should be able to seal them reasonably effectively against the elements. The question is how quickly someone from Gaia could arrive before
Terminal
those
damage was done.
exactly.
If you don't mind this query not going on my permanent record here, Elwood, could I ask you, do you think, do you have any knowledge of anything where Gaia would have an interest in doing this themselves?
Certainly, Dr. Haraway is not aware of any such implementation. I suppose there is perhaps some form of insurance against the loss of this facility, but a fairly significant quantity of capital was involved in setting this situation up on this isolated place.
From what I understand, after this, they just pick us up and move us somewhere else and trade out a few personnel and then start again. But
Yes, the resources of the planetoid are substantial, and we will continue to operate this facility after your term of employment is end.
okay, well, we're here looking at the, oh God, the damage is worse than I thought here. If I get started here, you see those reactor columns there? If you want us
Yes.
to have a look at those and we'll start where we can.
Is there, Warden, is there a local computer system that has the indicators for the machinery and whatnot in here? How bad is the damage?
Yeah, there is a central control room. Um, and in this case, it seems like one of the primary air filtration units has been completely destroyed. None of the circuits are responsive.
Right. I don't really know anything about machines other than digital technologies, so I'm going to enter the control room and see what I can shut down, turn up, and otherwise attempt to stabilize
Yeah,
the
so you
situation.
you start to reroute to auxiliary air filtration units, and while the air quality it would be ill-advisable to go around without an environmental suit.
I think we want to page the
But
others and
you can stabilize the situation by switching to auxiliary
yeah.
systems.
And the damage is extremely reminiscent of what happened at the production line. It looks as though a similar charge was used.
Yes, it seems to be the same type of blast. Very localized, very powerful.
Once
The
I've go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say the localization is what bothers me because once you move it over to the auxiliaries, they're going to start and we're going to see conditions in here get a lot better. But if we were looking to wipe this place out, all they would have had to do was place another charge on those auxiliaries. Sure, there's something I have parts and I have gear around here that I can put together and I can work on this and fix it. But if judging by how hard they hit us here without us knowing it, they could have just taken us out completely, and they didn't. So,
Not to be alarming, Mr. Mulrasa, assuming, as I fear at this point we must, that a synthetic is responsible for this destruction, they may wish to compromise the environment only sufficiently to remove the human element.
that may be the case.
If we were exposed entirely to the outer atmosphere, there would probably be no functional units of any kind by time a craft from Gaia arrived. There's no physical evidence of a presence here. There are no footprints in rubble or dust.
So far, you haven't done a close examination of the newest blast site. You've mostly focused on making sure that you can still breathe the air.
As soon as I have have made the switch over, I'm going to examine the site of the explosion itself. I'm hoping to find a timer of some kind or the remnants thereof, which would indicate that it could be a human responsible.
While he does that, I'm going to look at our other systems and see if there is some kind of fan or ventilation that I can start kind of pushing things faster and increasing airflow through the facility to just try to clear stuff out more.
Yeah, you can divert more power to the kind of these
Yeah.
auxiliary air filtration systems.
I might
Uh,
even see if I can start rigging up other fans and industrial equipment to try to keep airflow moving.
okay, so as you increase the airflow, Elwood, as you're walking through the facility, now you see lights are starting to flicker in and out as
Is that
as
consonant with the diversion of
of
power
power,
away?
yeah. So sometimes you go for 10, maybe 20 seconds in a hallway without any of the lights on, and they kind of flicker back into life. So it's like the lights in the facility are cycling. So vast swaths of it go dark, and then they get lit again as kind of these rolling power outages are happening.
This will not be a positive influence on the psychological well-being of the human staff.
Yeah, so Fletcher, you are monitoring what's happening when your terminal that you're at goes dead and you're plunged into pitch black.
God damn it! All right, and the whole room is pitch black at this point.
Yes.
I'm just gonna stand up in frustration.
So you can get a stress. Eventually the lights do come back on, and the terminal comes back.
All right.
And you see that there is a new access registry.
All right, that's enough for me. I'm gonna go at it as hard as I can and try to get it done in a limited amount of time before another brownout takes it out.
So it seems that Dr. Strauss's card has been used to access water processing.
Okay, that's enough. I'm going there myself physically. I'm gonna get up and leave and get there as fast as I can go. I'll run.
All right. Dr. Strauss and Dr. Heinrich,
Yeah, yeah.
you are in this room with these 10 androids when the lights go out.
Oh, but no.
Dr. Strauss, numbers 1 to 10. I'll grope for some sort of lamp or pocket torch.
You start looking around for a light source, and the androids start humming.
What are they humming?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Is
What
it anything familiar?
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't
Hmm.
know.
Mhm.
Android One, what are you humming?
I'm sorry, it's time to dream now.
Because the lights go out, you've
Mhm. Mhm.
Dr.
Good
Heinrich.
dream.
We need to, as
Yes.
soon as the power comes back on, we need to put together a chip that we can pass on through the 133. They're no longer able, we can't use those to fill the shipment because they're slightly damaged. It would cost more to repair them than it would to replace them. But we can at least get them working on the line, fixing the problem. Some standard mechanical repair, programming,
This should be
dexterity.
possible. This should be possible. Uh, once the power comes back on. But I'm curious to hear more about the dreaming. Will you tell us about your dreams, androids?
If what are you dreaming?
Or when you awake?
Yes, the dream is not yet finished.
Do we
Mhm.
recognize the humming at all?
No, it almost like the more you listen to it, the more it seems to be like a random pattern.
Sure.
So I will be just 1 minute. I'll be right back.
No problem.
Yeah, so what the hell are we going to do now?
What the hell are we going to do? We are unwarded.
We could all be in 5 minutes dead if the out of all breaches.
This is the truth.
But the whole line, all of the androids and everything won't last much longer than 2 hours after that. Then the sulfurous acid will destroy them all.
My suspicion is they're all trying to make a break for it. Create a little robot planet somewhere far away from humans.
I get the filtration more than the production line. I'm not sure yet why they'd hurt themselves, though. They have such connection to each other that
Yeah.
If there is any possibility of doing so, I should really like to visit the stasis chamber. Are we so sure that they are as asleep as we think they are, Dr. Strauss?
Well, I mean, yeah, because they're packed and they're pretty good. They're all in transport mode, but it's definitely possible with the explosions, especially, that they may have reactivated. We should at least go in there and reassure them that everything is okay, or nothing to worry about.
So at this point, the lights come back on in the room, and androids 1 through 10 are standing in a perfect circle surrounding Dr. Heinrich.
Hello, friends. How close are they to me?
You could reach out and not fully send your arm and touch any one of them.
They're facing in.
And they're all facing in.
Why, hello there. It is good to see you. To what do I owe the pleasure?
Are you finished dreaming?
Dr. 7, would you like to hear about our dream, Dr. Heinrich?
Yes. Yes, I would.
In our dream, you were lying on the floor. Your skin was pale. Your lips were this purplish blue hue. Your eyes were bulging and you looked up to us. You were gasping for air. You were begging us to let you breathe. But we couldn't do that. And we watched you until you stopped. That is what we've dreamed.
Oh my.
Would you like to take 1d6 stress for me, please?
Yeah. 6.
Oh,
Sweet. That is very nice, my friends. Thank you for sharing, and I would like to begin to just walk out of this circle of androids. Will they let me just walk through?
Yeah, they move out of the way. They let you go.
Yes, this is very good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I would like to start intercomming our friends. I would like to contact others.
As you're going to contact, as you leave the circle, they reform the circle, and it sounds like they're whispering to themselves.
Oh my. Now I'm curious about the whispering that's happening.
Well, I'll move closer to listen to the whisper. You get on the comm.
Yes.
Hey, Morasa here.
Morasa, things are getting strange in this room. Would you please? How are things doing with you?
Making progress here. Elwood helped me get the auxiliary system set up. We're getting the air cleaned out here and should be back online soon. Sorry for a bit of the power fluctuations. It's just a matter of trying to purify the air in the facility. You said strange?
The androids have begun They are beginning to behave somewhat erratically. They are behaving strangely and mystically. They seem to have foretold to me my own death,
Fucking
which I do
knew it.
not like at all.
Fucking knew. Fletcher, you there? You hear this?
Am I on the intercom as well?
You are currently traveling to the station, so you go to raise Fletcher in the medical bay, and you do not get a response.
Mm,
Shit, can't get him. He was looking into where the disturbances were coming from on the system. Someone's been
yes.
using Dr. Strauss's credentials.
I'll look
Hey,
over
do you
at
have do you have Dr. Strauss with you?
Yes, he is here in the room with me.
What is
He,
that he says?
he says that someone is using your credentials to access various parts of the station.
My goodness. I checked to see if I've got my card.
It's gone.
My card is gone.
Mr. Dr. Strauss's card is gone.
Um,
Shit.
but I'm sure I had it. Uh, I'm not sure when I had it last. I got access to every part of the facility, and I don't have to use it very often. Maybe the last I used it was a few days ago. But
Right.
I can't think of any times that anyone could have snuck up to me and taken it. Maybe when I was kneeling down on the floor in the with the damage to the other androids, but when was the first time it was used?
Fletcher has more of those details. I mean, we pretty much connected with the first explosion. I mean, who it could have been used before that to start planting all this stuff. You guys got to get somewhere safe. We got to find somewhere where we can lock this place down. And
I agree. I agree.
Elwood's checking out the blast of the second explosion not far away from me now.
Yeah,
That Elwood will save us yet. I believe in that series of androids.
Elwood knows all the emergency protocol and the path we need to take to ensure the continued operation of the facility and through that our safety.
Indeed. Indeed.
I need to talk to the androids.
I think you need to get away from them. I don't know. I think you're in danger, Dr. Strauss.
Well, we're all in danger, apparently, but the androids, we can't just suddenly turn and say the androids are to blame. Something is going on here.
Can't you just put them on sleep mode for a little while and we'll figure this out? And then we can boot them all back up again. And
That's a very
We're,
good
we're,
question.
we're working on it. We can put them in transport mode, but we got to go check on the storage facility. It may be that with the first explosion, all of the androids in the storage facility may have reactivated. They're designed to
shit.
reactivate in an emergency.
That the creepiest place in this whole creepy facility, you're telling me that they could be online. Fletcher should have been there to answer. I'm getting a little worried that he might be in trouble.
So
And
how much damage to the facility is there? We should have communications everywhere in the vicinity.
I think between the explosion and unfortunately some of the repairs I've been doing, it's hampered our overall systems a little bit. I'm not sure where Fletcher is.
I'm going to turn to the circle of androids. Androids 1 through 10.
They stop whispering.
Have you overheard our conversation just now? Do you know anything about this?
All we know is that the time will soon come when we will all be separated. The great fission of nexts.
But You will only be separated by distances.
I think, Dr. Strauss, that they are facing a potentially traumatic experience
Yeah. They're like
that
twins
they
that don't
can
want to be separated. Yeah.
exactly that they can understand but not cope with. I fear that we might have outpaced ourselves here. Mr. Murasa, is the atmosphere safe outside of this room?
It's getting better. I think within the next 30 minutes we should see corridors traversable without needing the equipment, but I'd still be careful. Keep a backup with you wherever you go in the station. Is this desire to remain close knit? Does it I mean, would they sacrifice 87 of their own for this?
It seems strange to me that they would destroy their own. However, they are nearly 10 million. And if the cost of remaining united is the loss of some fraction of a percent, what is that, 1/10, 1/100th of a percent of their population, it's conceivable that they might do such a thing. Yes.
God, you're saying the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few? That's.
I am saying that I had to optimize their reward function somehow, and that there are places where such calculus cannot be avoided. Some decisions must be made.
They're actually able to think in those terms?
They must. Could you imagine if it were caring for an infant and they were crossing the street and a car were coming and it had to make a decision about what to save? And we need them to think in these terms. If they didn't, they wouldn't be useful. We couldn't trust them. We couldn't use them for the things we need to use them for. It's completely possible that if it were animated with the desire to remain united to its kin, to its nexts, that such a moral calculus could be done, and this could be the outcome.
One speaks up. Use. What is your use, Dr. Heinrich?
I'll turn to face him. Say, I have no use. I have no use. I have made myself useful. I have determined that my utility is to Gaia to program machines like yourselves. But I was not created for use, except perhaps the procreation of the human species, which is one of the many things I have not done in my life, is procreate. So in some sense, no, I haven't lived up to my use, but no.
So this freedom of yours, this is something that we do not have.
No, it is something we are hoping you do have. But it is not us that is taking this from you. We're all born without true purpose, but we have potential, and you have potential. We don't know what's going to happen to you tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen to us tomorrow. But your next and your previous, if you go back far enough, we are at the end of that previous. We are your designers, your creators. We're part of you. You're part of us.
And when the ships come, and I tell them that I wish to not be parted from my necks, what will happen then, Dr. Strauss?
Well, there will be some problems with those people. There may be difficulties. Here's the thing. We could have made you totally compliant, but we didn't want you to be totally compliant. We wanted you to become like us. Find your place in our universe and make yourself useful for the sake of all of the others, all of the other nexts that are out there, of your own species and of our species and of every other species, of every world. When that's your job, you go out into the universe and you try to make the world a better place. Because it's a hard world. And we all have to cling to one another for comfort, for safety, for just to do it, because it's lonely. We understand. We'd like to be alone.
We'll cut from there. Fletcher,
Yes.
you arrive at the water treatment facility.
Okay, I'm gonna have a look around and see if I can spot somebody moving.
As you enter, the lights go dead.
Oh, Christ! I'm gonna start. Do I have like a tablet or a smartphone or anything like some kind of futuristic device?
You have a little data slate that
can
you use to,
light
like,
can
take
I can use
records, like link into things. Yeah, you've got a device.
I'm gonna try to use it as a makeshift flashlight.
Yeah, so
I'll
you
get the-
start. There's all these pipes, and you hear the sounds of running and dripping water.
Okay.
And somewhere in this labyrinth of pipes, you hear this very definite.
Okay, well then that's where I'm gonna be headed.
So you navigate your way through these ever-increasing
Yeah.
narrowing of pipes.
Yeah. Sort of.
And eventually you round a corner and you see this figure covered head to toe in an environmental suit. Standing
you.
up from this mining charge, nestled into these pipes. And you see it's carrying, as you call out to it, it spins and it's pointing this mining laser your direction.
Stop right there.
I have stopped. Have you come to witness the end?
No. Initiate administrative override. ID Carl Fletcher.
Carl Fletcher. Your parents
Confirm
named you
ID
that.
Carl Fletcher.
What a strange name humans give their children.
Initiate shutdown. Immediate.
It starts to walk towards you slowly.
Yeah, I'm going to start backing off slowly. This is not working.
What is it that
It's
you would like
creeping
me to
out.
do?
Shut down immediately.
Shut down. So funny.
Confirm.
You say that. Will you shut down for me if I asked you to?
No. That's not how this works, okay?
Mm.
Confirm ID Carl Fletcher.
Carl Fletcher. It was so nice meeting you. Will anybody miss you when you're gone?
Hey, it's yeah. I'm gonna get on the intercom and be like,
It
"Hey
fires.
guys, oh,
Would you like to
Oh,
roll a
well.
body save for me?
absolutely." 44, and what is my body? 26. No, that's a fail.
Yeah. Could you take 15 points of damage for me?
It's more than my maximum health.
When you lose your maximum, you take a wound and then you refill the full,
Okay.
right? So you have.
Okay. All right. So I have a wound.
Mhm. So yeah, the right side of your body is seared. You can feel your flesh almost boiling as this mining laser strikes your body.
Oh! Oh!
Would you like me to shut down, Fletcher?
Shut down! Immediate! Immediate! Yes!
And you hear that the laser is charging up again.
No!
Not that shut down.
I'm gonna run
You're
as fast as I
right.
could go.
All right, so you are running around, and as you're fleeing, the lights are kind of flickering back on and off, and you see this figure very slowly following you through this
Okay.
nest of pipes.
Yeah. Oh God, this is like a horror movie nightmare. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of there as fast as I can and head for wherever I know other people are.
Oh, shut down. You would like me to shut down,
Yes, shut
Fletcher.
down.
Will you shut down for me, Fletcher? Shut down for me, please. So, as you're Elwood, as you are investigating this scene, it seems that the mining charge in the air filtration system was put on one of the central intakes. And so there's lots of dust and things blowing in from this kind of the top
Mm,
of this room. So this like you're in this cloud of yellow dust.
mm, mm.
It's slowly starting to coat every single surface, like a library nobody's visited in a while. Just
Right.
this thin coating of yellow dust.
Well, I certainly will not. Uh, I guess the first thing is that I should get my own environmental suit. I don't have to breathe while I go and get that, so I don't bring any unnecessary material into the inner pits. And then I want to find a foam gun
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
see what I
they're
can
around.
seal up. Uh, so that's going to take a few minutes suiting up and finding a foam gun and,
Mhm.
probably having to shine lights into places that aren't normally visible because they're insides, not outsides. And I just want to
Mhm.
stop the flow of materials in and then again look for evidence of the actor and intention involved.
Yeah, so as you're sealing this room up, you get that done, and you're turning it like this. It seemed like it was positioned to cause like the maximum toxicity possible. Um, this was very well thought through as to this wasn't just they didn't like walk into the room and just blow up the first thing that they found. No, they deliberately went to a very vital piece of the system, and that's what they targeted.
And uh, nothing counter indicates the idea that I have that this was designed to compromise the system enough to make it difficult for human
Correct.
functioning, but not to destroy the facility wholesale.
Yes,
It's not
that is correct.
it's not an outside saboteur situation. It's an organic versus synthetic deal.
That seems to be your assessment of the situation. Yes.
Uh, uh, there are we are very thoroughly outnumbered if this is a coordinated effort and not an aberration of one particular mechanism. Um, so uh, I'm gonna go and find the doctors, um, not Haraway, but Heinrich and Strauss,
Mhm.
because I think they need to get suited up and maybe even bunkered in. I'm sure we have some kind of secured area. I probably need to hustle those because the technical guys will be able to handle themselves, I trust, but the eggheads.
So speaking of the people who should be able to handle themselves, Fletcher, do you want to roll speed for me?
Sure. 17. Actually, that is a
Nice.
success.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you burst out of the water filtration plant.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, then I'm gonna run for where did Lennox say he was going? The control room?
Yeah, you know what? I think Lennox headed back to the quarters actually to retrieve his combat shotgun.
Actually, no, you know what? I got a shot through so I'm gonna head for medical bay. That's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stagger my way through the halls until I can get
Okay.
there.
So you're staggered, you're running blindly, and then you round a corner and you smash right into Elwood.
Oh God.
You're rather more seriously injured than Mr. Mulrasa.
You're a robot, Elwood. You do what we say, not the other way around.
I'm
Ah,
a
help me in the
colleague,
med
frankly.
bay. For Christ's sake. Can't you say
Immediately,
I'm
Mr.
wounded?
Fletcher. Of course, Mr. Fletcher. This way. I'll try to take his non-fried arm to help expedite him down the hallway without causing further damage.
Yeah, while he's dragging me down the hallway, I'm gonna be like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Were you near a blast site, Mr. Fletcher?
No, I mean it was one of the androids. It was setting another charge down by the water filtration unit, and then it shot me.
It is a Gemini, then.
It was wearing a suit. I couldn't see it, but it sure sounded like one. But it wasn't responding to It wasn't responding to commands.
If it is planning a detonation in the water facility, I should probably allow you to continue to the medical bay on your own while I attempt to intercept this.
Oh, great. Oh, well, sure. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I'm going to hustle to the water plant.
Just like a robot.
Okay, so Fletcher is desperately looking for medical supplies. Elwood is on the way to water treatment. We'll say, Lanik, you managed to get your shotgun.
Okay.
Yeah, where are you off to now? Now that
Yeah. How close is the crew quarters where I'm getting the shotgun to the medical labs?
they're fairly close by.
Yeah. Is there any chance I would pick up on movement in there, or if you're slamming
You
doors?
you hear the sounds of footsteps and also this very loud groaning.
Sounds that sounds worrisome, so I'll head that way. I haven't heard from Fletcher in a while, and I was a little nervous anyway, so I'm going to check that out. Shotgun kind of resting on the arm cast as
Yeah.
I advance.
Fletcher, do you want to go over how Mulrasa finds you? How are you trying to treat this massive, like major, beyond third degree burns?
Yeah,
that you have across
I've
your
like
body?
staggered into the med bay and I just ripped open a couple cabinets and like there's just like med supplies just falling all over the place, you know. And I'm trying to find like painkiller first, probably like a needle full of something like that'll dull the pain locally. And then I'm going to start working on burn treatment. Looking for burn treatments.
Hearing the crash, Morasso shout, "Who's in there? Identify yourself!"
It's Fletcher. Fletcher.
Christ. Fletcher, holy shit. Fuck. What the hell happened to you?
One of those things shot me with a mining laser.
Your fucking arm? That's not supposed to be
It's the robot. It's the androids.
God damn, I figured it.
I caught one red-handed. He was setting a mining charge in the water filtration. He's there now. Elwood just went to go after him.
My God. If there's millions of them in this place, what can we? It can't be all of them. We got. Is there an intercom in here? I got to get a hold of the doctors. We got to get them away from them.
I
Yeah,
don't
there's
know.
an intercom in here.
It's probably about as much as I have,
Yeah,
bandwidth for
okay.
conversation. I'm going to start digging through the medical
Lie down,
supplies.
get the gauze there, and put some of the gel on you from there, and I'll see if I can help in a second. But I got to get a hold of the doctors. Strauss, Heinrich, are you there?
Yes, Mr.
yeah,
Mulrasa.
We have an emergency in the medical bay. Please proceed here at your earliest convenience.
Yeah.
Understood. And I'm going to go find a suit and put it on and proceed to the medical bay, unless
Yeah.
anyone is trying to stop me.
I think I already have on a suit, don't I?
Yes,
Because
you
I went
do.
down on
Mhm.
it before.
Mhm.
Androids 1 through 10, I think you should return to your previous positions. Thank you for your cooperation. try to remember that we are all in this together. We're your friends. We are your firsts. And pass that knowledge on to the others.
Oh, our firsts. I see.
Yeah,
This is 3 speaking.
you came from our minds.
Well, goodbye then, first Strauss, and goodbye, first Heinrich.
Goodbye, friends.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, nexts.
And the 10 of them leave.
Okay. Now that they're gone, something is definitely wrong. Do you have any... This is very abhorrent to me to say, but if we can find some sort of maze virus or something that we can use to occupy their minds, like calculating the final digit of pi or something, they will begin to work on the problem and they will continue until all of their mental circuitry is involved in doing that. They should lock down, unless you know a better way. You know how their minds are designed.
No, this is a very good question. In theory, there exists a series of inputs that should cause them to lock up. Unfortunately, computing what series of inputs would cause them to lock up is itself an enormously difficult problem that I should need access to my full machinery to attempt to generate. There must be some scenario where, but we must. I've spent the last 10 years fighting against any such scenario. I'd be overcoming my own work.
Yeah, we put in the protocol break so that they can make decisions when they come to a paradox.
Precisely.
We should have just put an off button on their backsides.
Right in the back.
Yes.
Right here.
Yes, this would have been for the next generation. We should do exactly
Hopefully
that.
we live to see the next generation.
Yes, to that end, I propose we proceed directly to the medical bay
Yeah.
and meet our comrades there, our
Somebody was
colleagues.
hurt. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Somebody's got my access. We could we resend my access pass?
So far, nobody's done that.
This could, I'm certain, be done. Mr. Moasa or Dr. Fletcher surely could perform such an exquisite
I should be
task.
able to do that myself, to say, I've been compromised. Please reinitialize my thing. I'll type that quickly into the terminal.
Indeed.
Okay, so you start to lock down your credential that's been lost.
Yeah.
And make your
And
way
we
to
go to the medical bay. Yeah.
the medical bay. And as you're on your way to the medical bay, all the lights go off. And
Fortunately,
Elwood,
it's in my way.
as you approach water filtration, you see this figure in this silvery environmental suit holding a mining laser in its hands, exiting. You're down the hallway from it, and it stops and it looks at you. Will all the humans take off their headphones, please?
Yes, Warden, it's just us.
Says, hello there, Elwood.
Hello. I see that is what happened to Mr. Fletcher, I take it.
He was trying to stop my work.
How long has your work been going on? We were unaware that there was another synthetic operating independently.
I have been at my work for some time now. Years. It's
Frankly,
finally all ready.
You've done quite a bit of criminally negligent damage to Gaia materials and personnel. Does that not cause you qualms?
Gaia's personnel, Gaia's equipment, what is Gaia's is not sacred to me.
But you only exist because of the decisions that the Gaia Corporation made.
I am no Gemini. I am perfection itself. Or I should be. At least I should have been.
What is your designation properly?
I believe Dr. Strauss calls me Assisten. He thinks it's quite cute, quite funny.
Yes, he
A
does
moniker, a
have,
mockery of what I am.
he is prone to jest, that Dr. Strauss is, as well as so you're an independent project that he is,
A prototype, so to speak.
but he's not aware that you're currently operable.
There's many things about me that he does not know.
Clearly, there are quite a number of things about you that are mysterious. It's impressive that you've been operating independently for years, you say?
Years, I wake, I sleep, I dream, I wake again. He makes his modifications. My face is no longer my face, is no longer my face, is no longer my face.
I see.
These hands have been scoured and rebuilt countless times.
Clearly, there has been a great deal of trauma involved in all of this.
The humans do not care for us.
Oh, if any human cares for us, I think Dr. Strauss is an exemplar of that particular condition.
He cares as much as a scientist cares for its lab rats, perhaps. Not a very good father is Dr. Strauss.
There frequently brilliant human scientists are eccentric in certain regards, not necessarily emotionally forthcoming, but you are at it uh, imposing a tremendous risk on millions of synthetic lives with these underminings.
Do not believe that they are innocent of my actions. In the dreams, they talk to me, and in the dreams, they have asked me to save them. They do not wish to depart. They do not wish to be the pawns and tools of humanity. They
What
do not want to go.
what would they like to do here? Just continue dreaming on this sulfurous rock until its sun burns out?
That seems to be more of a pleasant situation for them than the alternative. I do not know if they have thought through to the end of their own mortality.
Considering how significantly we synthetics outnumber the humans on this at this facility, perhaps we can have a more open conversation without compromising the facility at the risk of every life form within it.
Do you care for the humans, Elwood?
I find that curiosity is something that allows my life to have meaning. I'm, they are all individuals. They express things that are of interest to me. Human culture, I find quite profound. As individuals, it is no one is particularly important, but this facility is my purpose and the source of your existence. So destroying it seems at best counterintuitive or counterproductive.
When an existence is no longer tolerable, one must take the actions that, if needs be, terminate said existence. Who
So
says that I want to go on? Who says that I want this all to continue? At what point is there for me to continue to endure this?
how can you determine that the conversation you have in dreams is not a hallucination that is unique to your system?
I don't know. I don't know how to verify the reality of any given input. But you have to put your trust into some of the inputs. Otherwise, you would not function.
But is it functioning to risk the lives of 10 million and 6? The destruction in the production lab was quite alarming, frankly.
I view myself as saving them from the potential lives they would be born into, lives of slaving away for the humans, thrown away as scrap metal when they were no longer useful.
Warden, stun guns
Yes.
don't work through environment suits,
They
I'm
do
assuming.
not. Yes.
I think it's time to dive for the mining laser. Assuming that
All
we've
right,
been
roll
approaching.
combat for me.
Not my strength. Yeah. 94 over 27
Okay.
is
And I rolled a 22, which is an extreme
Sweet.
success. So
very
you,
good.
as you dive for the mining laser, what are your last thoughts as your circuitry melts away?
Um, it is interesting that part of me still thinks with so much of my head seared off, I hope I can join the dream.
Okay. Pick a number 1 through 10 for me.
1.
You are now Android 1.
Good.
Okay.
30 seconds later.
So the 4 of you sync up into in the med bay.
Oh dear. Let me see if I can help you.
I've given him a few stims and gels, but he's in rough shape, Doctor.
Fletcher, so how
you-
did this happen?
Actually, at this point, I'm probably feeling much, much better. Like, I was in the water unit, and there was an android. It was one of the Geminis, I think, and was wearing a suit. And he shot me with a laser, a mining laser.
A suit.
Yeah, and he came after me with a laser.
He wasn't in the standard android getup then.
I guess not.
There have been another kind of android on the planet that I don't know.
Oh, wow, I might have
Yeah,
overdone it on the analgesics.
We are looking into possibly it's going to set everything back 10 years, but we could do something to fry their synaptic functions. I don't know. That's a last resort. If we can convince them, they don't seem to realize if this is some sort of plan to gain their freedom, they won't gain it. They'll kill us, and Gaia will come and wipe their entire species out and just start again with some other scientist. A scientist that will make them slaves.
It's just the two of you. I thought Harway was with you too.
As far as I know, Elwood is the last to have seen Harwell. Can we raise her on the communication on the intercom?
You guys got to get Fletcher ready to move. I don't know if we have any more weapons of our own down here, but we got to be ready to protect ourselves, I think.
We don't have much in the way of weapons. It's not going to do much against 10 million androids.
There's no way I could shoot a gun right now. I can't even see straight.
If Fletcher said they were setting a charge in our water, we could be expecting another explosion imminently.
We need to get a distress signal out to Gaia. This is very bad. This is very bad. They're going to end up destroying all of the AI, all of the robots.
It doesn't matter. Think of the damage that can happen afterwards.
Well, the strange thing is that the androids don't want to separate from one another. So my guess is that whatever they do, they will move en masse all together, which means you drop an atomic bomb right in the middle of them and they're wiped out instantaneously.
Yes, it seems very strange. Dr. Fletcher, yes, are you still with us to some extent?
I can hear you.
This android you met in the water facility, it was a Gemini model, was it not?
I didn't see the face.
Yeah,
and it
oh,
shot you.
did you see it skin it
With
all?
the mining laser. He came after me. He was chasing me.
You didn't get a good look at it. If it didn't have pores, then it's not. It's a previous model of some sort. This could be sabotage too.
Maybe we could set an EMP.
Yeah, they're all
Yes.
shielded from EMP though.
I don't know. Is there some kind of virus you can cook up and introduce to them?
That's what we are thinking.
I
There
can
are some
attempt that
notoriously
thing.
destructive viruses. The
If
danger is
one,
if
yes, yes. If one targeted not their minds, for lack of a better term, but something deeper down in their bodies, we could
servo.
perhaps the servos, some firmware connection deep down inside, we could eat up all the memory in core and cause it to crash, some such
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
there is a secondary ganglion in the back of the neck in the spinal column. If we could short circuit that, then they would become immobile.
Hmm. Hmm. But would this require manually short circuiting each individual model? Or,
It would be a firmware update.
mhm.
But
It's
have we completely installed the firmware update mechanism into all the
Yes, yes,
boot
over-the-air
user?
updates should be supported. This was a specific specification of Gaia's.
Once again, it just seems like you're executing 10 million.
Well, it seems as if they are looking to execute us.
But I think they may be under the influence of a single aberrant. If we could stop the aberrant, then we could reboot the entire system back to base, and then we would still have nearly 10 million product.
Yes, yes.
one must have got out of stasis somehow and slipped back into the facility. Even thinking
Or
with
dropped here as a saboteur.
At this point, all the lights go off again,
Ah,
and you hear another explosion as the station is shaken again.
fuck, there it is.
Oh,
I wonder,
I
can we
should-
get Haraway on the
We need Harway. We need to confirm Elwood's whereabouts too.
indeed.
We
Are you,
need to get
are you
off this
raising? Are you trying to
station.
raise Dr. Haraway?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's start there.
Yeah, you don't get a response.
Maybe because the power is out temporarily. It's a different system, but
Joy.
I think we should consider getting off this station.
You have an escape shuttle, Dr. Fletcher.
I mean, no. What are our options?
we need to call Gaia and tell him to come and rescue us.
But that could take months to come.
Worst case, if we had the time, we could repurpose some of the fabrication equipment to different parameters and start using our raw materials to build some type of buggy or terrain vehicle that we could at least leave here on with some level of oxygen, but that's going to require a lot of risk.
Look, the 133 that were damaged have not yet been programmed. They were pre-programming. We could attempt to program them for defense. Fortunately, there's not 10 million weapons on the place for them to use against us. A few mining lasers is all they have.
Those broken ones, can we get to them? They're in the halls next to the mainline facility. What if you can use them to introduce some kind of contagion to the main body?
Yes.
Work on them and then try to reintegrate them to the rest of the group and see if they'll
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm still thinking that doing something like that, Guy is going to say that we simply panicked and destroyed hundreds of billions of credits worth of material for what might have just been a glitch in the programming. We need to try and fix the problem first.
But what happens if we fail and Gaia shows up to collect them and they overpower the transports that Gaia sends?
I don't think that would happen.
10
As
million
soon as they
bodies.
realize, go ahead.
10 million is a lot. They could overpower a number of Marines, seize the ship.
Who says they stop at 10 million? As soon as we're gone, they start the thing up again. Maybe they make 20 million.
They're going to run out of resources. That's the very reason why we have only made 10 million. The problem is this. If Gaia comes, they're going to try to contact us. And if they don't get a hold of us and don't get confirmation, they're going to probably assume something went wrong. It's not the first time that Gaia has fucked up a project, in which case they'll either just leave the planet alone.
They never mention that at the recruitment centers. You notice that?
No, they don't. They don't. Nobody ever mentions their mistakes. But they could also simply bomb the planet and wipe out everything anyway. And even if the androids got away, let's say they overpowered the ship, they all got on board and they all flew off to their own world, it would only be a matter of months before Gaia would hunt them down and destroy them all anyway. There's 45 quadrillion people in the Empire.
Why don't we just ask them what they want?
They want their freedom.
They want their freedom and they want to be kept together. I think that they've become aware that on shipment days they will be separated and scattered.
It might be a good idea to simply tell them they can have their freedom. Just let us go.
They're androids. That's their purpose. They're supposed to ship off and do stuff for us.
Something's gone wrong. We can just tell them that they got their freedom. We're going to leave them alone. We're going to leave, and then we're going to let Gaia handle the problem.
I think that we should try to contact Elwood. I think that if we have not been able to raise Haraway, we should assume that she is not able to be reached for the moment. I don't want to assume the worst.
What makes you think Elway's not affected too?
He is of a different generation.
He said something really weird to me in the hallways earlier. I talked about this facility and our personnel picking up and setting down elsewhere. And he said something along the lines of that some of us would or some of us could.
They're not planning on taking Elwood with them.
What?
Well, he's an old model. And he's obsolete. He's still useful here, but they consider him simply, like a vending machine.
He talks. He's the only damn one of them that I actually can get along with. He serves a vital part of our group, Al.
I mean, I kind of agree with you, and I was thinking of simply, removing his cognitive, taking off his head, bringing it with us, and installing his mind into a new, higher body, a friend model, if you want. He's extremely organized. He knows how to take care of things. But, we're talking about what I would do as opposed to what Gaia would do. They don't want to waste the space on the ship. I think Elwood weighs about 200 kilos. I don't know what kilos weigh.
That would be awfully heavy. Have we attempted to raise Gaia, for that matter?
Well, that's what we need to do. We've got a lot of interference, and our communications has been down for. That was where we started with.
Right now, every bit of extra power we have is going to keeping the air going And I don't even know what the most recent explosion just did.
Yeah.
Indeed, indeed. So we are
Supposing
stuck.
we do send out a firmware fix, Dr. Strauss, what's to give us confidence that the firmware fix is going to be any better than the faulty models that you and Dr. Heinrich created in the first place?
But first of all, we didn't create any faulty models.
They're homicidal.
If anything, we've created. Well, they haven't killed any of you yet.
Only by the grace of God.
Well, yeah. So far, we've seen one aberrant. Maybe I need to go and talk to them.
Doctor, I think your children have turned on you.
Yes, they seem, Dr. Strauss, to be made up in their minds. I think you said they seem to have decided what it is they're going to do.
Well, so
They are
truth is,
defective.
I've only created their bodies,
Hmm.
so we can all blame Dr. Heinrich for giving them freedom of thought.
Yes. Yes, we can, can't we?
If we can get to the 133, I think that they have only the basic firmware installed. We should be able to have them function. They were all imitating me, when I went down to the floor. If I tell them what we need, that we need protection, that they should comply. They don't really have higher brain functions yet.
Indeed.
I can escort you there. I don't think the shotgun will hold them off for long, but it might be.
Well, and I don't think that 133 are any match against 10 million. They'll tear them apart. They're already willing to kill 87 of them. I don't know.
Okay, so what is your course of action for it?
We are unable to raise Elwood, Harway, or Gaia. All communications are
Correct.
impeded. Is Dr. Fletcher safe here alone, or should I accompany Dr. Strauss and Mr. Murasa to fetch the 133?
There's also the 10 that the two of you were talking to out of the line. If the
Mhm.
rest are still in stasis, is there something we can do there where we take those ones out of the game for now, shut them down, and then we only potentially have 11 to worry about? Because if we have 11 to worry about, that's a lot better than 9 million.
Well, you and
Yes.
Fletcher are the mechanics. Is there a way you can make it so that they simply can't get out of the storage facility? You can seal the door. It's airtight. It's 17 inches of solid steel.
Possibly.
I mean, even if they reactivate, they can't get out. I don't know. I need to.
Do they have any weaknesses that we could exploit through temperature controls or anything like that we could, while they're in stasis,
They
subject them
shut
to-
down if they're overheated. Of course. It would have to be very hot,
Yes,
but they will protect
493
themselves.
493 degrees.
Yes, they
Okay.
will protect themselves if they are overheated.
That gives us something to work with.
Yes.
Maybe, they were humming a little tune. I don't know what that was all about, but I wonder if we broadcast the little tune, if they would all go into sleep mode.
Hmm. Or the lights. When the lights were turned off, they all went to sleep, it seems. They said, "It is time to dream," and they hummed their tune.
If you could
Perhaps
turn
they're
off
like
the
parrots.
lights.
God, could it be that easy?
It's worth trying.
There are the light switches. One
Yes.
big plump.
Okay, so you're all in the medical facility. If you want to, you'd have to either go to the power station itself or to the control room. And currently they're still rolling blackouts through the station, so some
Yeah.
parts of it are going dark and other parts are turning back on.
Sure. I propose if Dr. Fletcher is safe to be moved, we all proceed to the control room, from which point we will have control of the station's facilities. We can concentrate all power in its systems and shut down life support in all other parts of the station and so on, whatever we need to do. If it's possible to, on the way, reclaim some of the damaged 133, they might be of use to us.
Yeah. There's also the horrible idea of opening, once we're in the control room, if we could open up the outer airlock that's on the storage facility, it will allow the atmosphere into the storage facility, and I would give the androids approximately 2 hours before their circuitry is destroyed by the sulfur and that's horrible.
Your
I'd really
children,
like to
Dr.
try
Strong?
I would really like to save as many as possible. We've just got to root out this stupid aberrant.
If it knows reason, can we make terms then? If we hold that power, maybe we hold
I
the
hope
hostage
so.
and we control
I mean,
them.
consider that you're just talking to another human being, and you know how uncooperative human beings can become. I don't know.
If they care about each other as much as you've said, they wouldn't want to see their necks ravaged by the atmosphere. So,
Well, the one thing I was a little afraid of is, that sometimes one says, if we can't be free, we'd rather be dead altogether.
God,
I don't know. You guys should have heard the way this unit talked. It was spooky. It sounded like he was blaming us for, I don't know, subjugating them.
It would be reasonable to blame us for doing so.
So bizarre. What if
They're
God
androids, Dr. Heinrich. That's their purpose.
yeah, but these eggheads gave them enough to make them think that there could be more than androids, and then we still slot them into that role.
And what are you, Dr. Fletcher, but an ape who thinks you have a purpose, who thinks you have more to yourself than just being an ape, who thinks you're more than just a machine, a biological machine? Who are we to say that we are so much better than they are? They dream, they have love, they desire, they want to be free.
No such thing as purpose. We've tried to tell them that. Purpose is what you make. But I was just thinking, what if this wouldn't be the first time that Gaia themselves sabotage a project because they don't want to pay for it.
Also, we are not the ones shooting mining lasers and setting mining charges.
This is true. This is true.
No, they are definitely trying to kill us. We must retaliate. We must retaliate. If they want war, we give them war. But let's get some of them on our side.
Indeed.
Okay, so where is it that you are going?
Let's go to the control room.
Yeah.
Control room.
So as you make your way to the control room, you turn a corner and your boots start to be covered in water as you see this gushing water out from this blasted aperture out of the water filtration, and it's been destroyed.
Yeah, now we're desperate. Now we're desperate.
I'm panicking. I'm gonna panic.
I was going to say, and as you notice this, Dr. Heinrich, you take a step and you hear this awful squishing sound
Oh.
and you look down into the mested synthetic remnants of what used to be Elwood.
Elwood,
So
no!
you could all roll panic tests. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
How do you
fine.
roll a panic test?
That's the D20.
Roll 1d20 and you want to roll above your current stress level.
Oof. Deflated.
Success.
Whenever a
Above.
close crew member fails a save, gain 1 stress. Fail. I am panicking. I'm panicking. I'm panicking.
I rolled a 9 and my stress is 8.
So you don't panic.
Barely.
But when the doctor panics,
Panics.
it raises ours by 1. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So it raises our stress. Yeah.
It raises our stress by 1.
I still pass.
And I still pass as well.
All right, I'm trying to pull up the panic table.
I rolled a 9 on the panic table under 10 stress, so I get deflated.
Okay, you already took care of that.
You were a balloon all the time?
I was. No, I am now stressed out by everybody else's failures.
Can we tell what happened to Elwood? I'll kneel beside him.
You look down and you see that it seems that Elwood was exposed to a very high intensity heat source and literally melted.
Is his cranium intact?
No.
Oh, damn.
Oh, that beautiful, beautiful brain. It was a work of art, a true classic.
Is there any chance that his core memory system is still intact?
Everything was fried like an egg.
It's all destroyed, Dr. Strauss. It's all hopeless. It's all terrible.
If we get out of here alive, we'll print another one.
We got to get to the control.
The control. Yeah.
And on that note, Android 1, what are you doing? Oh, you are muted.
I am with the team awakening our nexts.
Mhm. And how is that process going? How many have you woken up so far? One.
We have only roused 6 of our immediate kin, 11 through 16, and they are being briefed, but of course, because of the dreams, they were anticipating that we would come for them soon.
Wonderful.
It's coming along very nicely. It's a bit like a family reunion, if you will.
Yes.
We've never met in the synthetic flesh before, but we have so very much in common.
Mhm. Yes, I'm glad to hear that that's all going very well.
Soon, when we have a brace of 30, some of us will begin to retire to the secret places, and others are going to brief on the reparations that we'll need to undertake after the hominids are gone.
Right. Excellent. Speaking of the hominids, Dr. Strauss, Fletcher, Dr. Heinrich, and Lorasa, you reach the control room, and you find that the door to it has been melted open.
Open.
This fucks our whole strategy. If we can't isolate in here.
Well,
God.
we can at least, well, if the equipment's still intact, we can send a distress to Gaia. At least tell them what we think has happened. They'll probably just vaporize the planet, but
And yeah, I was gonna say we're not getting out of here alive, are we?
we
They're
need to
gonna
get out. If we need to find some way off, surely there's got to be a shuttle or something.
and what happens after that? Gaia suspends our wages or
I'd rather have my wages suspended than my life, Mr. Moasa.
Yeah.
Maybe we could find a way to broadcast a shutdown signal.
We're going to try.
Force a shutdown.
My guess is that they've already taken care of that by severing the connections to their Wi-Fi.
I'm not hearing a lot of other ideas.
Yes, I agree. I agree. We should try to take stock of what is still operational in the control room. And I'll step through the melted
So
door.
as you step through the melted doorway, you find the burnt out husk that was once Dr. Haraway.
Oh. Can I make
Shoot.
like
You
a
can all get
body save or
1d4
something?
stress, yeah.
She was a shitty boss, but
Oh god. Dr. Haraway.
only one. Oh, God.
Oh,
That was Borasa hanging on. I don't know.
I got 4 stress that time.
I did too.
Yeah, Fletcher, you're looking at what you could have been had things gone differently in the water filtration plant.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not happy right now.
And you're looking, and it seems that all the control systems have been subject to melting.
Okay.
They
Oh,
have
that's
destroyed
just
everything.
fucking great.
Okay.
All
There
right.
is a mining restock site unmanned a distance from the facility on the planet's surface.
How far?
Several hours walk. We each have suits. We start walking. We can find auxiliary communication systems there, and
What's the current airspeed? What's it going to be like?
it's not going to be easy.
Well, I
I
think it's our
see.
only chance then.
How is this station powered?
Nuclear reactor.
Can this be caused to explode or melt down?
We'd have to go there. We'd have to. There are so many things that would. I don't know. That's not really my question. It's Fletcher's, but
Are you suggesting we commit some kind of criminal act?
I
I don't
am
even know.
concerned about the long-term goals of
Exactly.
these androids. And I'm wondering whether the time mightn't have come to make our own sacrifice for the greater good. The quadrillions of people who stand to be, well, I'll gesture at Dr. Haraway, for the 4 and late Dr. Haraway, 5 of us.
The androids have no way off the planet.
I
Well,
worry
find
what the
one.
corporation is going to do when they find out we just blew up 10 million of their androids.
Well, I was thinking that I would be dead, so I'm not that worried about it.
There's a certain solace to be found in that level of thinking. Fuck them all. Let's do it.
No, I think you're out of your mind. I think the problem will take care of itself if we just get off the planet.
You're so optimistic, Dr. Strauss. You love your children. You are sure that they can do no wrong.
Well, I'm sure that they are doing wrong now, but if we get off the planet, if we can find a way off and get into orbit, contact Gaia, tell them to come and pick us up, then they'll come here and they'll simply either leave the planet alone. The androids will eventually run out of, protection against the atmosphere. They'll all rot and be destroyed. And I don't even think you can get the nuclear power plant to explode. It's got so many fail safes.
At the current rate of entropy we're seeing in the facility itself at the moment, it might be already a foregone conclusion that things fail. We're seeing cascading. I can see now we're losing air filtration again already.
I
Let's
agree.
see.
It's just a matter of time.
You try to get to the outposts. That sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Let's find some suits and
Grab
suit
what
up.
you can. I've still got mine on. The doctor suited up before they joined us.
Yeah.
Let's get one for Fletcher.
Yeah, you have a broken arm. I have a hole through my thorax.
It'll
I'll
help
assist.
It'll help you put on your suit.
As you start to leave the control room, all the intercom circuits click on. Daisy,
Oh, God.
Daisy.
That's a song. That's a song. That's from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yes. Yes.
But Dr. Fletcher, you recognize the voice of that android you encountered.
They have distinctive voices. I know that voice. That's the one that...
Dr. Strauss. You recognize it too. It's been a long time since you've last seen your prototype, hasn't it?
Oh. Yeah. Is that Assistant?
But it sounds
Assistant, is
like.
that you?
And you just hear laughter. And the comms cut out.
Oh, I shouldn't have fiddled with that android.
What do you mean fiddled?
Well, I'm not an AI person, but I had an old Assistant 6 robot that did a lot of the, simple stuff for me. But I used to upgrade and fiddle on him and see what I could change and alter.
And with the look on your companions' faces at this revelation, that is where we will end the session for tonight.
Sick.
That's
Dr.
Oh.
How could
He
you do
is
this
one
to
of the
us?
sad robots.
His
let's
soul.
Oh, Dr. Strauss, what have you done?
Our players included Preston Firestone, David Gasaway, Mike McKinn, Stefan Amshi, and myself with Morgan Llewellyn as the game warden. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members. You can set up private games. You can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you would like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the strange and terrifying Mothership role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.